We're not really sure who asked for the 2020 Avalon TRD. TRD is all about racing. Is this car about racing? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. Today we are test driving the 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD. Toyota offers TRD for off-road racing in their trucks, and it has been successful. They've even built race cars that have also been successful. But putting it into a four-door family sedan, I was surprised. I wanted to see it. I was surprised they built this. I'm not sure what kind of demand there is for this vehicle. It sounds to me like they're trying to go after the Genesis G70 or some of the BMW, Audi, or Mercedes product. But is there a demand for this vehicle? There are some differences in this vehicle, and there's some quirkiness to it as well. We'll show you all the differences between a regular Avalon and an Avalon TRD. We'll go through the Car Coach Report's ratings for performance, handling, technology, and 10 different categories. And in the end, we will give you a total Car Coach Report's rating, and we'll tell you who they compete with. So when you go to test drive this vehicle versus other vehicles, you can have a comparison, and also the regular Avalon in comparison to the TRD. If this is your first time to the channel, we give you more than just car reviews. We give you Car Smart's great way to save money and some first looks as well. Make sure to hit that subscribe and that little bell so you don't miss anything. Is the Toyota Avalon TRD worth the money? What makes this vehicle different? Let's take it for a drive and we'll find out. 0 to 60, 6.1 seconds. It's already losing a little bit of traction with my foot in it. In sport mode, top speed of 130 miles per hour. I don't think anyone's driving an Avalon TRD at 130 miles an hour. And please don't do that on the street. That would be for a track, and this is not a track car. Fuel economy is 22 miles to the gallon in the city and 31 on the highway, a combined of around 25 miles to the gallon. There are 3 modes to drive in. The eco mode, which makes sense if you're just cruising right along. The normal mode, which most people use, or I think the sport mode should be on all the time. It just doesn't seem to have that much power with 267 pound-feet of torque. That gives this Avalon TRD, compared to other vehicles in this category, a score of 5 for performance. Now when you're looking at handling, one of the things that does get improved with the Avalon is better springs, bigger brakes, stiffer suspension. They really thought about upgrading some of the handling features, so you would expect this vehicle will handle aggressively. You can get into a corner, put your foot in it at the apex, extend right out. Now you're getting too excited about a vehicle that just doesn't perform at that level. And that's kind of disappointing because when you see TRD, if you're not getting a performance improvement, you better have a handling improvement. And there really wasn't that much of a difference, and it was kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. If you're going to be competing against the Germans, you have to step up your game in handling and in performance, and for handling, this vehicle earned a 6. When it comes to safety, obviously that's an important factor. This vehicle has a pre-collision system. It has the full Toyota package, which includes blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. And when you go further down, you can play with some of the things that you want on and what you don't want on. Lane change departure, the distance between the vehicle in front of you, your blind spot monitoring, and there are other safety features. Overall, for safety, it earned an 8. When you're looking at visibility, there's a huge piece of glass in front, and this is good for visibility out the front. Low sills, which I do appreciate, so that you can see where you are. And then out the back, we have 3 headrests in the row. And it kind of limits the overall visibility, so I had to give it a 7. When you're looking at seating, I always say it is a top priority because you're sitting in the driver's seat, and this is where you sit typically on a regular basis. So the seats have to be comfortable. The seat itself is pretty comfortable. It's kind of a high seating position in my opinion, but there is lumbar, which I do appreciate, easy to operate in and out, but there's no up and down for the adjustment. And when you're looking at the competitors, they have that. There is adjustment on the seats, which do help you make the seat comfortable for you, but the passenger seat only has forward and back and the back of the seat to move, which limits the comfort for the passenger seat. Let's take a look in the back. Once we get into the back seat, we have a lot of headroom. I'm 5'8", there's tons of room, knee room, because I set the seat for me, and you could be 6'3" and I'd still have plenty of knee room. Shoulder room is great. When you pull down the center console, you've got 2 cup holders and a spot for maybe a phone or something. It's pretty nice, plenty of room, kind of tight for the person in the middle. But I thought it was kind of odd that the console kind of had such an aggressive angle. But either way, seating comfort is great back here. The only thing that makes it special for TRD is the red seat belts, the red stitching, and the red trimmed floor mats, but no TRD logo. Is that important? No, but if you're spending $6,000 extra, again, I keep coming back to this. We'll talk about it in value at the end, so you want to stay for that. Although the back seats are comfortable, for seating rating overall, even though it's got some nice features back here, earned a 6. When it comes to technology, it's your ability to connect with the car. So that means audio systems, navigation, whatever apps you have installed. And Toyota has made some changes and made it standard for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They're probably the last manufacturer to jump on board with that. But when you're looking at this type of very nice, clean, simple setup with buttons, which we appreciate, and a volume knob, that's a major plus. The one thing that's frustrating is when you touch the map, that's pretty slow. And look how dated it is. I mean, you would be thinking something like this is probably 3 or 4 years old, maybe more. Going back to the home, look how long that takes. Audio. If you're an audiophile, you want to set those sound changes for yourself. Again, that noise is loud and you can shut that off in the settings mode, but you can adjust whatever you're looking for. Again, that beep comes up every single time. Not a big fan. This is a bit slow to connect. This is certainly not what I would expect from Toyota. I would expect it to be more cutting edge like some of their other vehicles. Some of the technologies that are really good are what's in front of you between the two gauges. You can easily adjust what you want by just pressing this button, picking the station you want, your safety systems. Of course, you can turn those on and off as needed, and your messages. This moves really fast and what people expect. Overall, when you're looking at technology for what this vehicle offers, it earns a 7. When you're looking at a steering wheel on the TRD, you would expect something a little bit more than just red stitching. You've got your regular controls you would expect from Toyota, lane change, departure, cruise control, the regular information on the stalks. The gauges are very easy to read. And when you're going to the center stack, again, we discussed that in technology, it's a little bit slow. Center vents going down to the climate control. One of the things I like is a 3-stage heated seat, but at this price point, they should be air-cooled as well. Nice storage here, no wireless charging. Underneath the climate control, very easy to use. It's some nice little storage. It would be a great spot for some wireless charging. I don't know why they didn't do that, or a connection for charging your phone. There is nothing here underneath other than a regular 12-volt outlet, which is hidden way back in here. 2 cup holders, one is circular. I'm not sure why the shape of this. My guess is for larger water bottles. I don't know, maybe your phone would fit in there. Yeah, not really. Your phone doesn't really fit in there anyhow. The shifter is embossed with a TRD logo, red stitching, and a polished chrome detail. Very nice, a little sportier than what you would expect. Of course, the boot has red stitching as well. You've got your 3 mode buttons, Eco, Normal, and Sport, like we discussed, and your parking brake. Going into the glove box, which has the stitching on top, but it's not red. I'm not sure why they didn't do that. Again, that's a matter of style. It's a pretty huge glove box, and one of the things it has is 2.1 USB outlets and an additional USB outlet for charging your phones or whatever you need to charge. Additional details, which also goes into quality, is this red stitching across the front of the dash. That's on the TRD. It's also in the door panels right there, and of course on the seats, and that includes this very cool TRD logo, which is not in the back seats. Additionally, there are aluminum pedals, which are really nice and cool. But when it comes to features as a total, it earned a 7. The design of the Avalon TRD is different. It's more aggressive. It stands out. And they wanted to stand out with this gigundo grille. But one of the interesting things about this grille is when you produce something with this size grille, it should be functional. But it doesn't need to have this much grille. So only about 30% of this grille is actually used for cooling. The rest is to make a more aggressive look. It seems like almost a waste of such a gigantic space, but the grille is there to create a certain look. In the front, there's also a splitter, which really doesn't do very much, but it does look cool because it's gloss black. 19-inch Michelin tires on alloy wheels that have this cool flat black look, and red brake calipers. But the brakes are bigger, but just making them red doesn't mean that it's going to sell more vehicles. I understand that they're trying to make it more racy looking to inspire people of their racing history. In addition, there are black side skirts with a red trim piece denoting TRD. It doesn't do very much on this car other than look good. In addition, there is a rear wing the Avalon logo, the bright red TRD, which doesn't make it go faster, but makes it look cooler and lets people know you spent about $9,000 more for this cool package. There is dual exhaust and a rear diffuser. This gives buyers that race-inspired look. So for design, I gave it an 8. Quality has to do with build materials, gaps in all the panels, materials inside the vehicle, and how well it's going to hold up. That quality is critical. Overall for quality, both inside and out, they did a really good job. We gave it a 9. Going around and back to the trunk, there's a very large trunk, same as the Avalon, with the Avalon TRD floor mat. Underneath is just tools because there's run flats, and that means there's no spare tire. When you're looking at the value of the Avalon TRD, you get the cool body kit when you buy this TRD package, but it's $9,000 more than a regular Avalon. Sure, it looks cool with the body kit and all those details between the floor mat and the shifter handle and the red stitching, and I love the red seat belts, but there are a few things missing in this price point. If you're going to go up against the German vehicles, you need to add even more than what they're adding. Our test vehicle came in at $45,000. That included a $1,700 JBL audio system and, of course, this very cool special pearl white paint. For value, I gave the 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD a score of 6. When you take all the totals and put them together, the Car Coach Report's rating for the 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD is 69. Now remember, this is trying to compete with the Germans, and we've test driven all of their vehicles, and you can check that out on a link down below at our channel. But I really think there should be a little bit more to this vehicle in order to increase its total score, and that would mean more horsepower, an actual difference in improved handling, and not just the shock absorbers and the stiffness and the brakes, but there needs to be more than just a look. Otherwise, you're just buying a pretty little package with a bow on top. I'm looking forward to seeing what Toyota is going to do with this vehicle, how it sells, and if you're going to buy it. Don't forget to check out our new website. We have some new contributors and some information you won't get anywhere else. If you got value from this video, make sure to give it a like and a share and put your comment down below because we like to start the conversation. Was I a little too snarky? Was I too rough on this vehicle? Or do you think I was spot on? Because I'd like to get your opinion. We like to start the conversation. You own an Avalon, you could buy a body kit pretty much anywhere, but I doubt it would cost you $6,000. But again, it depends what you want as the consumer, and I want to know what you think of this. In my opinion, I think there's going to be some incentives on these vehicles down the road. But it looks pretty cool. I got to give them that. We want to thank you so much for your support on our Patreon page. Follow me on all forms of social media at Lauren Fix, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.